I got something troubling on my mind. I got something troubling on my mind. I got something.
Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. The Simple Minds Sports Show. The Celtics are front-running pussies. Told you that a while back, and nothing has changed. Down 0-2 to the Knicks, but fear not. They're one simple adjustment away from advancing, and we're here to tell you about it, or at least I am, if you stick around to that Celtics segment. And if they don't, then they will continue to be front-running pussies for as far as time can tell. So we'll get to that, but as we always do, let's start with some opening takes. Ray, you're under suspension for undisclosed cause at this point, so you get to go first. Please start us off.
Thanks, Chris. Fuck this team. 2 games in a row, you still haven't learned your lesson. You again were up double digits, and slowly the Knicks just chipped away at it. Then you go on a 21-2 run, and Joe Mazzulla doesn't call a timeout and saves it for the rest of the game. And what do the Celtics continue to do? Shoot threes, even when they aren't falling. You're down 0-2, and you now are in a battle with the Knicks, a team that is better than you, more physical than you, and more hungry than you. Oh, and if you see Jason Tatum, just tell him Game 3 is on Saturday, and hopefully he shows up.
Okay, the Knicks are not better than the Celtics, but most of that...
I don't know.
No, they're not.
Jalen Brunson in the fourth? Jalen Brunson in the fourth?
Well, we'll get there. Bobby, your opening take.
It's real frustrating when this whole time I'm made out to be the idiot, when over all this time, it's clear what happens. You clip me up, you throw me up there, you make me look like the asshole. This whole time, you people are the assholes. You don't listen to me. I've been right since the beginning. Mazzulla is a nerd. He doesn't understand basketball. His offense and his whole coaching philosophy is simply to score. It has nothing to do with actually winning a basketball game. He doesn't understand how to win basketball games. I'm not sure he understands basketball. I've been right all along, and I told you so.
Hard to argue with that. Speaking of assholes, who's running the Red Sox down there? Is it Rafi Devers in his diapers, or is it Alex Cora in his binky? Can anybody tell anybody to play first base other than some gaggle of scrubs that's about to throw out this position like they've done for the last fucking decade? As your poster boy, Cassis, who can't hit the broadside of the barn, goes down with a knee injury. By the way, who leaves baseball with a knee injury? Like, who blows their knee out playing baseball? You pussy. Speaking, just a final show of peas. The Red Sox are, look, I'm not called dire straits, but they need a massive adjustment. Let me leave it at this, and we'll get back to it in the show. They need to get Vrabeled, and they need to get Vrabeled hard, like a Tuesday night at Ray's Mother's. That's what needs to happen to the Red Sox. So we'll get to that. Celtics, obviously, first on the docket. Choked it. Your mother? My mother? Your mother? My mother? Celtics on the docket right off the bat. 0-2 to the Knicks, but fear not. Bobby may still be wrong. Who's in charge of the Red Sox? Let's talk about that debacle. 10 questions from a guy named Rob. The Bruins, not in our opening segment. They got boned, and so did Adam Vinatieri, according to you friggin' idiots out there, Raymond. And Simplest Minds of the Week, as always, to close out the show. This is the Simple Minds Sports Show, Friday Rewind, live Thursday, May 8th. Welcome to the show.
Happy Mother's Day.
The Celtics are dumb front-running pussies. This is the same team they have been for 4 years running.
Well, my worst nightmare came true. Mazzulla and Mayo are friends. What the fuck? Apparently they've known each other since Virginia. They have these docking sessions where they talk about ball and managing people.
Vacation. I'm gonna quay all these. I'm gonna fucking watch them this week.
Do you say quay?
Is it not quay?
It's Q. It's Q. It's Q-U-E. You idiot. And there you have it in our opening segment. 2 years ago, 2.5, 3 years ago, however long that was. Bobby and I proven right in our opening segment. We've been running for 2 years. Ray, still running with the Quay, and maybe that's a Canadian thing, French Canadian thing. He may be right too. If we were doing shows in the 51st state, who knows? Regardless, we were proven right because this is a Simple Mind Sports Show. We keep it simple, we keep it straight, and oftentimes we're right. Surprisingly, it just takes a little time. Like the Celtics are front running pussies. So if you'd like to hear more about us being right, join the newsletter. Subscribe, rate, review wherever you're watching, wherever you're listening. Smash the subscribe, hit the like button. Thanks for being here. Leave a comment. We'll reply back to you with some snarky commentary. But just remember, we will generally be right. In the long run,
We're always right.
we will be right.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to start there, Bobby, with the Celtics. Game 1 choke, 105-108. A 20-point blown lead, 63-point attempts. Watching live.
Let's stop it right there. Rich jinxed it because at halftime, Rich said, "This is very nice. They're not shooting a lot of 3-pointers. I think they only had 20 at the time, 45 after that, I think." And yeah, you jinxed them, you son of a bitch.
I did. It was a sloppy game to start the game off for sure. Sorry, I gotta throw the comments off because Handsome Wayne's going to distract me. And okay, sorry, Handsome Wayne. Thank you. Keep commenting. We'll pop them up here. Make it relevant and make it good. None of the
It was very
shit.
good. He said the Quay is his thing is gold.
Yeah, but he spelled it Q because that's how you actually spell things that you want to watch later in the Q, and that's how you say it too, unless you're somewhere in French Canada, which we don't recognize on the show. It's also called Canada, not Canadian. I don't know why I said it like that. I did say that at halftime. I said it was a sloppy game, but at least they're not chucking up 63 pointers a night. And lo and behold, in live reaction, as the 20-point lead is dwindling down and not a single player leaves a 3-point arc. Literally, I mean, not even a cut, no backdoor pick, not even a pick and roll. They just stood on the arc with a wide open paint for a quarter and a half, watching their 20-point lead go down. I mean, 2 games in a row. We take it wherever you want. Like, this is just a full bitch fest about Missoula ball, us being right, the Celtics being wrong, reverting back to old habits, not learning from the Magic series. Wherever you want to take it, it's all yours. We got some stats to throw out if you want, but I think the talking point is obvious. If you want to go to the Missoula role, wherever you want to go, Bobby, you nailed it. Like, they're not playing basketball, and every pundit outside of NBC Sports Boston, because I couldn't like convince myself to watch that post game and try to like put rose colored glasses on the bullshit we've seen the last 2 games. But anywhere nationally, they are crucifying this team, and particularly Jason Tatum, who deserved it in game 2. Yeah, game 2 he sucked. Game 1, obviously I think he was victim of the game plan and just everybody on that team settling. But he's the leader. He should have led, and they didn't. And it's just. The Jason Tatum Celtics are one of the most infuriating brands of sports to watch, more so than even the recent Patriots, because we know they suck. Watching this basketball team settle and lose to a worse team, Raymond, the Knicks are not better. They're not better by far. They're a far less superior team than the Celtics. And to watch the Celtics just piss this shit away on their stupid philosophy is extremely frustrating. That's the best way I could describe it. And we can, I'd like to get into the hows and whys and what they could do and if they will here, but I don't know, take your minute to vent.
Yeah. First, let's talk about the players here. I mean, the players have just melted down in the fourth. What did they miss? 14 shots in a row, 8 minutes without scoring at all in the fourth quarter. They didn't even, they had no backbone. They had no will to do anything different other than just continue to melt. Brown and Tatum, they looked terrible. He takes out Pritchard. He was the only one that was scoring there in the fourth, essentially. The players, I don't know what it is. They just, they're acting like it's like mid-season, like they don't really care. The Knicks are playing at a whole new level that they do not have anywhere near the energy to match. It's like they bait them the whole game. The Knicks are just, they feel them out, they bait them, they get to halftime, and then all of a sudden they start to play basketball about halfway through the third, and then just end the game. That's what's happened twice.
I'll go quickly. Game 1, to live and die by the 3, like you guys said, up 20 points in the third quarter. They go 10 for 49 in the second half in overtime. That's atrocious. Why would you keep shooting if you can't make the fucking shots? The Mitchell Robinson rule. You got guys in foul trouble like Luke Cornett. He had 3 early fouls because they were doing that, trying to get Mitchell Robinson to the line. And then when Porzingis shit his pants at halftime and Sam Hauser sprained his ankle, now your bench is getting smaller and smaller because of this. Tatum was -5 on the court in game 1. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown combined for 14 for 43. And the only bright side of game 1 is that the Celtics were out shooting their worst shooting performance and still only lost by 5. So
I want to go piggyback on your Mitchell Robinson thing. Did you hear what Mazzulla said in the post game presser about why they were fouling him?
No.
Because his plus minus was the highest on the court, so they wanted to get him off the court. So again, he's managing specifically to the stats and to the nerds. So someone tells him what a number is, and then he tells the team what to do. He's not managing in the moment on what needs to happen on the court. Doesn't happen.
No, you're right, Mazzulla, and it goes beyond Mazzulla. It's an organizational philosophy, very similar to baseball, that the statistics are running downhill and they land in the court, and the players have now been, succumbed to it for years. And everybody gets blame. I'll give you my slice of Mazzulla. The philosophy is set. Now, for whatever reason, they abandoned it basically against the Magic. For them not to do that now, Handsome Wayne says it's dog shit coaching. When the other team is in foul trouble, you don't hook up threes with the lead. I think he meant to say huck up, but that's fine. There it is. Huck. Yeah, that's obvious basketball philosophy. But to Bobby's point, that's not what the numbers say. And they were just in malaise of we've got this lead. It was 2022 all over again. The Celtics would get a 20-point lead on their skill and then take their foot off the gas, and teams would come back. And last year they got rid of that habit. It seemed to creep back a little bit this year, but we thought, no, they've matured. They've got beyond that. They understand how to win now. They have a championship under the belt. And lo and behold, now you've got a team with grit and a little skill, and voila, we're back to the same spot. Let me give you a point of optimism. I said if they could do this one thing. I'm just going to come from a mentality standpoint, and I'm not going to say I believe this, but I think it might be true. In game 1, you miss 45 three-pointers, an NBA record, 60 attempts, you miss 45, and you only lose by 3 in overtime. Joe Mazzulla in postgame said there was 8 to 15 shots that maybe they want to have back, but he basically doubled down on his philosophy like he often does. I thought at the time, maybe he's covering for his team because he knew they let off the gas, and he's covering for his players. And okay, let's see what happens in game 2. Game 2, they come out, and it looks very, very similar. Not as flagrant of a three-point attempt, but pretty close. And here's the only positivity I'll give you. Maybe game 2 was an actual wake up. Maybe game 1 happened. They said, we're not going to miss fucking 45 threes again. If we made 2 of those in the fourth quarter, we win. We're fine. This is how we want to play the game. And game 2 comes, and Jason Tatum scores 13 points. And they go, oh, maybe they go, okay, numbers aren't working here. We're going to have to adjust heading to Madison Square Garden. I'm not putting faith in that, Bobby. I gave Mazzulla and Tatum credit last series for adjusting outside of their game. They only averaged like 23 pointers a game. They could easily get back to that game plan against this team, the Knicks, if they wanted to. I'm not anticipating it's going to happen based on what we've seen the last 2 games. But if they wanted to, I think they could probably relatively easily run off 4 in a fucking row playing just regular basketball. You don't get a 20-point lead on a team in the playoffs out of thin air. The Knicks are playing as hard as they possibly can to scrape by, and the Celtics are just handing them these games. So do you give any level of credence to game 1 was a fluke? They come into game 2. That was an actual wake-up call, and maybe we actually see some adjustments here in game 3?
Yeah, if we're looking at it glass half full, I mean, again, when you're looking at it from Mazzulla's side, the numbers say they should have won both of these games if they had just played the way that they play. They win these games, but they're not accounting for the intangibles that come into effect here. So specifically with game 1, yeah, I think game 1 was a fluke. it more felt that way. This one felt more like a meltdown, especially when you're down 0-1 and when there's the stakes there. And they just have other mitigating factors. We got with Porzingis, who is not himself with his illness, otherwise known as he's got the long vid, just like Ray's mom gets the long dick. So there's that to deal with. They got Karl Anthony Towns, who all of a sudden whose nuts dropped somehow in this series. They got him looking like the toughest player in the world. Is it the same Thibodeau who legitimately ran the worst coaching job in Game 1 in NBA history against the Celtics is now teabagging Missoula every play down the court? I mean, what's going on?
The Karl Anthony Towns is a good point. Karl Anthony Towns is good for a game, a series. Like, he'll show out. He's too talented not to, but he got shoved in a locker Game 1, like you read about. I mean, that was the biggest storyline that got snuffed out because the Celtics blew it that I would have liked to seen.
Jalen Brunson, though, he's been the king of the fourth.
I mean, fine. Take your quirky little sayings and your Reggie Miller told us about the clutch player of the year in the NBA, which is another made up, stupid, goddamn trophy for these prima donnas. How many times did Reggie Miller have to tell us about that? He happened to be right, except for he missed the shot to win the game. Does everyone forget about that? Because the Knicks actually won. Brunson had a wide open layup to win, and he missed it, Mr. Clutch. So fucking eat me on that shit. He's a very good player. He is executing in the clutch. They also got beat by the Pacers last year in the playoffs with Jalen Brunson on the floor too. So just fucking relax, okay? Everybody relax about everything. The only thing that is true, Joe Mazzulla, not a tactician. You got 2 games in which you've got your all NBA players with the last shot, ball in the last shot, down by 3 or 2, and you don't get a shot off in either one. Tactician, he is not.
Tatum takes it baseline and then passes it and then goes to turn his back and pass. That's great. Fantastic.
So
that
you
can, ugly. I don't know what that was.
So there's your Joe Mazzulla bashing. His ATOs are invisible. There are none. There's nothing. He has no creativity on the court as a tactician, basically whatsoever. These are the only time that NBA coaches matter. In the playoffs, where your team is unraveling and the other team seems to have your number offensively or defensively or both. In this case, the coach can come up with a play or two or a series or two to mix things up or just get in their face or take a tech or
change the energy. He doesn't change the energy.
Get a bench player out there to Greg Greason the fuck out of guys, 5 fouls in 6 minutes. And switch up the energy. Bobby is right until proven otherwise. In a championship form, Joe Mazzulla is back in the doghouse as a shit coach and nothing but a mouthpiece.
Do you realistically think they're only going to shoot like 20, 25 3-pointers on Saturday afternoon when they play the Knicks?
No, but I bet it will be less than 40.
Yeah, they're gonna play their ball. They're gonna do what they do.
I bet they incrementally change. They try to split the baby. And let's be honest, Jason Tatum scored 13 points. If he scores 18 points, they win. Do
you think something's wrong with him? Can I stop you right there? Do you think something's wrong with him?
Yeah, he's a pussy.
I don't know. I have vaulted Tatum to the highest level possible in my mind in this past year because he was playing out of his mind good, and it seems like he's lost the capacity to play basketball. I don't know if it's a focus thing. I know their defense is switching it up a little bit. 2 things. Number one, Bobby's right. His biggest critique in his entire career is he lacks the cliche killer mentality. He doesn't understand what it means to just go get a bucket.
Mamba mentality.
Where that starts tactically, he has no go-to move, which is what I've been calling for years. Get inside the 3-point line, put your back to the basket, and figure out a 1 dribble move that gets you a bucket 70% of the time. Brown's got it. You put Brown at the free throw line or the elbow in motion, he can hold and hang time and bury that thing. The dude's probably 70% on that shot. Jason Tatum gets the ball 35 feet from the basket and ISO 5 out and tries to dribble his way through the entire defense. And most of the game, that's fine because he's a terrific passer and he can identify defense and he gets the ball moving and swinging when the offense is clicking. But with 7 seconds left, you need to be able to fake, dribble once, rise up, bucket. And he does not have that in his game. He just doesn't.
And they're putting they're double teaming him 35 feet from the basket as well.
Yeah,
I don't know if you will watch that, and it just throws him right the fuck off.
Get the ball out of his hands.
And in 2022, that worked against the Warriors. He crumbled, and he's reverted back to that. Last year, they did it too, and he simply just threw it to Jaylen Brown, who scored. I don't know if he's trying to, if he's searching that playoff MVP, if he believes it's his time now, so he can't be the facilitator. Bobby's right. It's mental. It's 100% mental. He's not.
Steve Kerr's in his head. Steve Kerr's texting him all day. He's like, "Hey, remember when I sat you little fucking bitch? You're gonna mess up against the Knicks.
Don't pass this to Jaylen.
Yeah.
He's gonna get another fucking trophy.
We're gonna get to the title and win this year, and you're not. You know why? Because I sat you, and you're a bitch."
It is mental with Tatum. That's
sad though. It's like you want to be the face of the league, you want to be MVP, you want to be in the talks and all that shit, and you just crumble when the pressure gets too hard for you.
I mean, I think that's the narrative, Ray, but I don't believe that it's actually true. I think he's a champion. He was the best player on the team last year, even though Brown got the awards. The team doesn't. We've talked about this ad nauseum. The team does not operate without Tatum. Okay, you've seen that. He's played like shit the last 2 games, and they've lost to an inferior opponent. So he's a top 5 player in the NBA. His fault is magnified in these situations, and it felt like last year he learned how to get around that or not to allow that effect to him. And it seems like this year he's pressing. Seems like he's pressing. That's how I would define it. He's pressing in these moments, trying to be the guy. Where last year he was okay to facilitate because he was chasing a ring. And this year he's chasing the hardware in a ring. Yeah. So can he adapt back? Can he adapt back to the best player, the best form of himself, which is best as a facilitator when need be, and for the team's sake? Or if not, then you probably ride or die with Tatum at being for lack of a better word, ball hog in the wrong moments. And that's going to hurt him as much as it's going to hurt the team. Have you seen the headlines or the social media clapback about Jason Tatum? No one talked about his 335 points games in a row and no missed field goals and dominating the Magic. No one talked about that. But the second he has some bad games against the Knicks, is Jason Tatum a leader? Is he a top player in the NBA?
It's news, man. You don't want to see the positive. You only want to see the negative. And that's the other thing that people want to talk about.
Well, Anthony Edwards and his 17 kids get positive headlines when he's getting his ass blown out too. Jason Tatum is unfairly criticized for sure. In these moments, no, he's played like shit. But overall, he's unfairly criticized. He does not get the credit that he deserves as a champion. But if he continues to play like he's doing, then the criticism is warranted. There you go. So game 3 Saturday. Any final thoughts? Anything you think we missed?
I'd like to see how the refs handle game 3. They've been letting them play games 1 and 2. Obviously, it's been really physical. I want to see what game 3 has in store for them, and let's see if they call a little tighter game, see if that changes the whole momentum and the flow.
When the show comes back next Thursday, this series better still be going. If it isn't, it would be one of the most disappointing things in our recent New England sports history here.
This is true. I'll give you one more ounce of positivity here.
Wait. Before you go, Bobby only wants that to happen because he doesn't want to talk Red Sox for the rest of the summer.
You're goddamn right I don't.
Neither do I. You're fucking kidding me?
Right now, the Patriots are possibly the best thing going. And look at them. I mean, the Celtics are crumbling. The Bruins blow. And the Red Sox are the Red Sox.
Yeah, no, Bobby's absolutely right. We need the Celtics to win for our
this is a lot riding on this.
Well, let me just give you one more ounce of positivity. I'm going to start with a negative thought. Teams down 0-2 in the NBA playoffs have it's 10% chance of winning series. I think there's 7 that have done it. However, there have been 3 in the past 4 or 5 years, one of them being your Boston Celtics. And the series I think back to is the Philadelphia series in which Jason Tatum balled out in game 6 in Philly to send that back to Boston. And then Embiid choked. I know that Celtics, they have rightfully earned this reputation of playing down to their competition and playing with their food. And we've seen it now down 0-2. I'm not counting them out. Like, their talent can show up out of nowhere and they could hit 40 out of 63 pointers 3 games in a row. or they could decide to play the right way, and blow this team out by 25 points. That could happen in the blink of an eye with this team, and we've seen it at times. So I wouldn't count them out. And it's just like you think Knicks fans right now are celebrating? They are petrified.
Oh, they're partying.
They are petrified of losing this series in 7 games. That's what they're thinking about. That's what Knicks fans are thinking about, because that's their history. So just keep that in mind. Keep a little positivity here. It's not really our MO, but I'm going to sprinkle a little
Saturday.
bit. Yep. See you Saturday. Okay. Throw it over to headlines with the obvious one.
Thank you there, Richard. Praise be to God. The Celtics are now down 2-0 after losing to the Knicks at home by a combined 6 points. The next game is Saturday at 3:30 p.m. at Madison Square Garden. Lord, hear our prayer. Speaking of prayers, the Bruins' prayers were not answered after dropping 2 spots in the NHL draft lottery from 5 to 7. Hopefully they have a better season. Lord, hear our prayer. Light a candle because the Red Sox are without a first baseman after Tristan Cassis tore his ACL while running to first base. Now there is a glaring hole at first base, and we have no one to fill it. And finally, we have white smoke, folks. And for the first time in the history of the Catholic religion, an American is Pope. USA, USA, USA. Robert Prevost has been elected and chose the name Pope Leo XIV. Amen. This has been Headlines with the Obvious One. Back to you, Richard.
With the wind, still pretend everything.
Ray found Jesus, but he's still looking for his dick. Thank you, Raymond. The Red Sox are a bunch of children. That's what's happening over there. 19-19 for a team that is woefully underachieving, but it's only 2.5 back from the Yankees in the division. So
which is
season's
insane. That's
I
insane.
know. It just seems like this team is playing so much worse than they are.
And then
right?
you look at the stand, you're like, oh shit, we still got a chance.
They had a real good week and a half run, and then in whatever they've lost 7 of the last 9. With a win last night, but
and they won today too.
Yeah, sorry. So, but look, the reason you don't feel good about it is because it is still dysfunctional. It is a dysfunctional organization. Look no further than first base than the debacle that is going on. Said it in the opener. Tristan Cassis, the fingernail painting, sunbathing, Gen Z. Look at me. Don't bring up these kids because they don't belong in the big league. I'm the GM of the team. Tristan Cassis blew out his knee playing first base in baseball. How that happens is beyond me anyway. But that in itself is a blessing in disguise. What's not is the Red Sox don't have a backup plan because they've been waiting for this kid for fucking 10 years. Ray, we had to sit through the Mendoza line of Bobby Dahlback for 3 years because they didn't want to put anybody in the way of Tristan Cassis coming up. They don't want to get a roadblock for Tristan Cassis. And he can't even make the team. He shouldn't have been on the team. And now he's hurt. And now he's gone for the season. What do they have in his place? Well, you would think that a $300 million former third baseman, now playing DH, who bitched and moaned about wanting to play the field, might be a real nice solution to move over to the corner infield spot. We've seen that about 1,000 times in the MLB. Do you think Rafael Devers would be the right fit there at first base? Who's to say? No one's going to ask this fat ass because they're too afraid of his reaction, and he's too big of an asshole to volunteer to do it. Although there is reports today.
They did ask him. They did ask him. He said no.
They sent him a note in 6th grade, do you like me? And yes or no with the fucking finger folds. And what was his response?
No. You send Bregman there. I go third.
No. Third base.
How dare they ask? I think he said how dare they ask me to play first base?
No, he said, I think today the report is, he said,
yell third base again.
No, third base. Sounds like my fucking... Sounds like a 2-year-old. Now, people are probably going to take that as racist. He is Dominican, and I do a poor accent, but
that's why
that's how it came across to me. Now, don't take this as racist because that's how he's fucking acting. He's acting like my 2-year-old. No, I don't want to play third base. I play third base. Oh, I can't play third base. You don't want me to play third base? I can't play first base now. I don't have enough time to go learn play type. I'm gonna go back. Shut the fuck up, Trevor. You can't even hit anymore. You fat piece of shit. Like, this guy, this fucking guy, this guy. You sent Xander Bogaerts to San Diego, who since has not been very great. But I would much rather have a mediocre Xander Bogaerts on this team than a bitchy Rafael Devers, who now is not even hitting well. You kidding me?
He said basically he only had 2 months to learn the position, and he doesn't have enough time to adjust, and he doesn't want to do it mid-season. I was just reading that while you were ranting about how Devers is a fat piece of shit, and it really hurt my feelings because, you know.
I think you're skinnier than Rafi at this point, and that's basically what you just said from the report is basically what I said. I was just in toddler speak, so you probably can understand it. That's probably how Alex Cora feels. He just like got out of a conversation with Rafi. Is like, I need another kid here to like transcribe what this.
And they have nobody. Like I went on baseball, like I would try to do a little research. They have no one. They have fucking nobody. They have to fucking trade for someone now.
Tristan Cassis was their great white hope, and
not anymore.
He was the only first baseman on the roster.
Quite literally for like a decade. Name me the last first baseman. Doug Minkiewicz. No, yeah, it's been a very long slide, and they still don't have an answer. Roman Anthony, Trevor Story, so you can bring up Marcel Mayer, Yoshida, to toss whoever you want out there. You got the most errors in the bigs. That's going nowhere because you don't have anybody to play first base. Toro kid, the 28-year-old Toro kid that they brought up, that had a nice game, but he's not a big leaguer. He's 28. If he was a big leaguer, he would have been a big leaguer by now. It's just another, frustrating is the other way I would describe how they've handled this. And, it comes down to obviously organizational forethought and like not stacking a first base position for a decade. And then leadership and the lack of it from on the field player personnel to management and Cora to upper management and Breslow. Wherever you want to take that, like not feeling comfortable enough to have a conversation with Rafael Devers to play first base when he's making $30 million a year because he was angry that you signed a Gold Glove third baseman to play the position in which he was the worst statistical third baseman in the league last year. They're all a bunch of children. So here's what needs to happen. They need to Vrabel this team. Mike Vrabel came into the Patriots, and he blew out every piece of leadership on that field you can name. Good players, guys we liked, Jonathan Jones, Dietrich Wise, David Andrews. Bye-bye. You've been here the last 5 years. It's been a pile of shit. Losing has become part of the norm. The Patriots weren't even doing it on purpose. They were trying to win, and Mike Vrabel said, no, I want you out of here. Take your bad habits and take them to New York or Washington or Tennessee. Get out of my face. That's what the Red Sox need to do with anybody who has that stench on them. And I'd start with Devers, and I'd take nickels on the dollar to get him out of the fucking city. Because he's only a bat now, and he's not even good at that. So that's a bad contract to move. I'd take pitching prospects and a guy that can come in and fill as a 4-starter. Get him out of here. Actually start your rebuild. Bring Mayer up. Bring Anthony up. Rely on Campbell. Get some pitching and go. Because right now, what's holding them back is not talent. It's not even necessarily leadership. Managers in baseball don't have a ton of say anymore. It's not even necessarily talent. Their lineup is top 10, top 5 in these categories. They need some help on the pitching staff. They need some help in the bullpen. It's their mentality. They have no professionalism. They have no dedication. They're a bunch of whiny bitches that don't want to go play in the rain. Blow these guys out. Anybody with that mentality, get them out of Dodge. Take nickels on the dollar and build your organization with the guys that want to win and know how to win. That would be my suggestion.
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
In February of 2024, did we not sign Theo Epstein back to the Red Sox for the Fenway Group?
He was hired by the Fenway Group as a I forget what his role is, but he is not a Boston Red Sox employee. He's a Fenway Sports Group employee.
Could you get him to be a Boston Red Sox employee?
I know that he is with some type of consultant role for the Red Sox. But I don't. The game has changed. I don't think he wants to be a general manager. And yeah, I mean, if you want Theo Epstein to be your hero, then he's gonna have, in my opinion, gonna have to adopt.
Is he the biggest nerd? He's the biggest nerd that we've ever seen in baseball, right? I mean, he took two franchises that never had won World Series in over almost 100 years and won World Series with those franchises.
Well, people credit Theo Epstein for adopting the Bill James and Billy, the Oakland A's guys. They made this
Moneyball.
Billy Bean.
Billy Bean. Thank you. Theo, as a 30-something-year-old boy genius / too dumb to know what I'm doing, walked into the Red Sox, adapted those principles of Moneyball, but also had baseball people around him, baseball smarts. And, a lot of people credit him as the perfect combination of both in Boston and the Cubs. He's since moved away from that. He spent years in the front office for Major League Baseball, and now he's a part of Fenway Sports Group, kind of on a higher minded level. He's not in baseball. And baseball itself, the game has changed. What I'm saying to do will never happen. They like the paper, the nerds, they have this team perfect. This is exactly what they want. Lucas Giolito has an 8.38 ERA. Now, nobody looks at ERA anymore in baseball because his spin rate's through the fucking roof, but the guy can't pitch. He hasn't pitched in 2 years. The 4 games he's played or whatever for a Boston Red Sox uniform, he sucks. Take that in your analytic fucking database and shove it up your ass, you nerd. He sucks. Where is that on your chart? Sucks. Blows. Fucking stinks. He can't pitch.
They can't say that kind of stuff.
Like, take that and shove it up your ass. Look at the games. They suck.
Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe, I mean, if Theo's the answer, they're going to have to blow out a bunch of guys and give them full control, and maybe they get desperate enough to do it, but they're 19-19, 2.5 games back, and you got a gaggle of dorks up there just preaching the numbers will work. Joe Mazzulla's calling in with his support. The numbers don't lie. The numbers will work. Give him a chance. Give him a chance. Give him a chance. Let's see what happens at the deadline again when they're flirting around the playoff line and they're thrust in this position to go spend money on a big league rental. Are they going to do it?
Nope.
Or are they going to flounder again? And then Alex Cora is going to go pout and cry in his soup as they drop 9 out of 10 and fall out of contention for the 4th year in a row.
Yeah, this is going to happen.
I was on our text chain. I was going back and forth with Billy Baseball about Alex Bregman and re-signing or not re-signing. And in principle, I do believe I'm right. He's a 32-year-old third baseman signed for $40 million next year by the Boston Red Sox.
Yeah.
I don't believe he's going to not take that deal for the next 2 years. However, if they continue to deteriorate and show how little they give a shit about winning, and he's got a 5-year deal on the table from Detroit for similar money, bye-bye, Alex Bregman. The best thing you have going for you this year.
How much was he outbid by? Like, didn't he have like it was a lot, right?
Like double.
Boston came with a bag full of money and said, "Please come here."
Detroit gave him like a 5-year, $170 million contract, and Boston basically doubled that in 1-year deals for over 3 seasons.
Yeah,
just to get him into town.
And he hasn't been getting dragged through the butter in Boston either. Like he hasn't been playing great, and no one's really saying much about him.
He's the best thing on the team. He's got like 1,008 LPS. He had a couple bad defensive games, but Alex Bregman is the best thing you have going. Him and flashes of Garrett Crochet. That's it. Christian Campbell has some promise. He's figuring out how to play the bigs. Other than that, give me something good about this team that you're excited about. I'll wait.
Fenway Franks.
They lead the majors in blown saves. They lead the majors in errors. As I said, just to close up, lack of discipline, lack of focus, lack of professionalism. Vrabel this squad and get some grinders in here that want to win and know how to win, or at least know how to show up to the ball club every day and play like a professional.
Yeah. Good luck.
Bobby, final thoughts?
Nerds ruin everything.
True that. We'll be right back with 10 questions from a guy named Rob.
Okay, let's get into this. Was Reddick saying the Lakers need to get in championship shape, a shot at Luka, or deflecting his terrible coaching?
A little bit of A, a little bit of B.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
I like to think he was calling Luka fat and sloppy, but obviously he sucks at coaching.
No, because he went out to dinner with Luca and Rob Pelinka right after the season was over. So
Luka orders seconds.
Oh, of course. They went to the Golden Corral, the buffet, and Luca said, "I'll take
He
3
got
of those."
that third beer, and he got the same look that I get. He's like, "Really?
Yeah.
Like, you driving home?" I hate JJ Redick, like burning passion hate. I heard
He's extremely hateable.
Oh, insufferable. I heard a good story or watched a good story. I think it was Carmelo on some podcast talking about the U.S. team and Kobe Bryant. Coach K was, when he was coaching the U.S. team, was just talking up JJ Redick. You know, this kid, you know, he's great. And Kobe Bryant was just like pissed, like took it personally. He didn't let JJ Redick score for like the entire week or something. He just like was in his shorts, fouling him, beating the shit out of him. Like, Kobe, man, like, relax, dude. This Swarm's like, fuck this guy, man. Like, fucking hate this guy. Like,
The Duke stench, you know?
Yes. Yeah, I don't like JJ Redick. Both are probably true. I think he stinks. He'll be out soon, hopefully.
We can only hope. When did the NFL get a draft lottery? And
NHL.
Why do they need this?
It's the NHL draft lottery, Bobby. And
Sorry, NHL.
If you guys could have put a camera in my room when I was watching that and just seeing like the numbers going through, it was the most confusing thing I've ever seen. You needed certain lottery balls to fall your way in order to get the first pick. And when that happened, I'm like, I don't even know who the fuck I got the first pick. And then they're like, they panned to the Islanders. I'm like, how the fuck did they get the first pick? I'm like, I don't understand this one bit.
Yeah, Ray, you were texting us live, and I assumed that you were kind of like, you know, dumb about it. But listening back and reading back and watching a little bit of it, it seemed like an entertaining product. It's like live gambling. Your odds are shifting with every ball that comes out. And, you know, it's a copycat league. The NFL makes billions of dollars off their draft, which I've been bitching up for a long time. So I'm not going to go up in arms about this is great or anything, but it's another piece of product for a league that desperately needs attention in the NHL. And their draft is not meaningless by any means. You know, there's a lot of good players that come up in their top level. So I'm for it. Yeah. Put it on TV.
Make it dumber, though. Like, make it easier for like dumb people to understand, like myself.
Yeah.
I was like,
the real-time odds.
But
like,
give me something so I
like,
know, like I can see.
At one point, the Bruins had like the second best odds for the second overall pick.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh shit, here we go. And you know, then they dropped to 7. So like, you know, you get the ebbs and flows of
8 was picked on the lottery ball, and they're like, oh, that's not good for the Bruins. I'm like, I don't know why that's not good. Why? Like, why?
Yeah.
Dumb it down. That's all I want. Yeah.
As always, we need things simpler. Are the Cavs frauds or the Pacers legit?
I'd go more Cavs or frauds after being the best team in the East all year, and now down 2-0 to the Pacers, going to Indiana now for a game 3. Yeah, I think they're the frauds.
Cavs are frauds. 2 of their best players cannot stay healthy, and their best player is a point guard. And unless you're Steph Curry, you can't win with a point guard as your best player. Yeah. I love Donovan Mitchell. If Donovan Mitchell was a Celtic, they'd have 2 championships by now.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
But when he's their best player, they just don't have a sustainable formula. And Indiana's a bad matchup for them because Indiana's basically the same. I just think they play a little bit looser. And, you know, that was a brutal loss for the Cavs. Both games could have gone either way. But I don't, you know, the Cavs, I don't consider them legit because of the reasons I just said.
Yeah. Indy's been a decent playoff team. They've been winning series recently. So they've shown the ability to do that. The Ravens cut Tucker. What percentage of massages out there in the world do you think actually end in handies?
69%.
Good call.
It's a high percentage, yeah.
There's a lot of massages out there. Worldwide?
Yeah, worldwide, yeah.
I'm gonna go 69%.
Great.
Only a 31% chance that you don't get jerked off.
Yeah. This is whether you want it or not. 69%. Coming at you.
Yeah, very good. I like my odds. Was Greg Popovich overrated?
No. That is dumb. When you put that in, when I saw that, I got very upset, Bobby. He's not overrated. He's probably one of the greatest coaches other than Phil Jackson that we've seen.
He looks like a homeless man, and I'm
He had
pretty
a
sure
stroke,
he's
you asshole.
retarded.
He had a
Okay.
stroke. Quite
All right.
literally, he had a stroke. You heartless bastard. Although they did prop him up there like Bernie,
Yeah.
at Bernie's. Like I didn't like. I think
That was a little weird.
He wanted to do it. He wanted to say something to the fans and the organization, and it's in San Antonio, so only like 14 people.
Unsurprisingly, once all his Hall of Fame players left, the team sucked. Okay.
Yeah, well, that's what happens to every fucking coach. Name me the
Look at
coach
Bill
that
Belichick.
was. Name me the best coach of all time that had shit players. Okay,
know.
exactly. Yeah.
Hmm.
No, Craig
Fine,
Popovich
whatever.
was a fantastic coach.
He looked fucking homeless. ESPN put the WNBA ahead of the NBA and NHL on their website's main page headers. No MLB at all, I would add you. Do you think they have an agenda?
Yeah,
Can
trying
you
to
just
get people to watch
can you reread that because you
slower.
I put a picture in the email to make this easier. ESPN put the WNBA ahead of the NBA and NHL in their website's main page headers, meaning when you open the page, the list of things that they would want you to click on first. No MLB at all. Do they have an agenda?
They want people to watch their product because I think aren't they on the ESPN network? Yeah, they want you to watch that.
Did you know that also they have a fantasy WNBA?
Ooh, we should definitely be joining that.
The WNBA is just a living fantasy for all women basketball players. Of course they have a fucking agenda. I was half joking. Of course they have an agenda. They dumped like a ton of fucking money into the broadcast rights, and they killed MLBs. So yes, they did peace MLB. We're putting all our money in the WNBA because the NBA is probably giving us a shit ton on the back end, and that's how that works.
They
That's
had
how-
preseason games on for the WNBA.
That's
over
how the
weekend.
world goes
Ooh.
round. And just by the way, toot, slow burn, watched it coming. I fucking told you, idiots. Should have bought into the goddamn NBA franchise race. Said, oh no, the WNBA. Watch. Watch. There's money. It's called money. It's just money. It's how money works. You don't have to be good. You don't have to care about it. There's money dumping into it. Therefore, it'll be worth more.
That is how it
Sometimes
works.
it's exhausting being right.
Tell me about it. What do you think Gerard Mayo's doing right now?
Making a hot pocket pepperoni.
Yeah.
I think he's walking the streets of Jupiter, calling for Robert Kraft's handmaiden, screaming. I've heard 69% of these massages end in what I'm looking for.
Come on in.
He's wondering why he'll never have another job in football again because he has no contacts outside of New England.
Yeah, I know. He's firing off resumes on Indeed right now.
Yeah, exactly. If you were invited to the Met Gala, what would you wear?
A fucking normal suit.
Oh, you're so bold, Ray.
What do you want me to wear? Fucking like assless chaps, fucking tuxedo?
No, I want you to dress like
I mean, what
Mario,
would be,
like
your
everybody
creative
expects you
side
to.
at that sort of an event.
I want you to wear overalls and a red shirt and a little fucking pompadour, like everybody wants you to.
And just have like a music box behind
Stomp
me going,
on mushroom.
beep, 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 beep.
Yes, that's what I would like.
What would you wear, Bobby?
It would be like a blow-up doll that looked like your mother tied around my waist walking. Well, she would flap in the front while I walk out.
Yeah, I'd wear the same thing, except I'd be walking backwards in front of that.
Very good. Will Shador Sanders make the Browns opening day roster?
Oh, yeah.
He'll be the starter. He's going to be the starter on the fucking team.
If he's not the starter, he's going to be the backup for sure.
He might be the backup just because he was blackballed and the owners won't let them start him, but he will eventually be the starter for the Browns next year.
I wonder if because the coaches don't actually want him, if they even give him a legitimate opportunity during practices. Like if they're just like, "Up, here's your rep. There it is. One throw. Okay, go sit over there, asshole."
Who is the
Like-
coach of the Browns?
Stefanski.
Yeah, he's still
No,
there.
no. He needs he's fired if they don't have a good season. Shador Sanders may start the season. I'm no Shador Sanders fan. I'm no Colorado fan. But
Oh, you're not?
based, yeah, I don't know if you've noticed, based on everything else they have in that roster and the 7 guys they have in that quarterback room who all blow, I odds give me 50-50 odds Sanders starts the season as the starter for the Browns. And I don't think the coaches have the agenda. That's going to come from up top. Because if Stefanski doesn't have a good season, he's gone.
Yeah.
So
I agree with that. Interesting. What on earth is the Utah Hockey Club, now the Utah Mammoth? When did this happen?
that's what your mother calls me when we head out west.
That's what,
We'll be right back with Bruins, Bone, and Element of the Hall of Fame. Thank you.
Waiting, waiting on pity. Waiting on pity. Waiting on pity.
Before we get to Jules, some of our favorite picks, some of our rightfully favorite Patriot players. Let's do a little bit of hockey talk. As we mentioned there, the Bruins had the odds for the 5th overall pick. They end up at 7th. They're one or two ping pong balls away from the 2nd overall. Whatever it was, it was an exciting time. May not all be bad news. This looks like a 2-player draft in the NHL, with the next 10 being relatively the same level of skill or prospect. However, how many centers are there in those next 5 picks? I'm going to guess that they all get picked right before the Bruins are there, and they're going to be left with some stiff defenseman or some third-line winger.
Ooh, great one.
That's
That's who they're projected to take. Porter Martfone, a right winger, 6'3", 208 pounds. Physical player, compares to Brady Tkachuk or Corey Perry, led his club with 98 points. I'm sure they're going to piss this in the wrong direction. So, yeah, that's what's going to happen.
Oh, yeah, let's get another Lucic up there for the 7th overall pick.
Yep.
Not a centerman, of which they need, desperately. Just what an epic boning. Bobby's right. I've never paid attention to the NHL draft in my life. For most of our adult lives, the Bruins have, not been a big part of that. 2015 was the last time they had, real relevance in the NHL draft, of which they epically boned in that themselves. Although if you listen to Cam Neely and Don Sweeney's press conference exit interviews a couple weeks ago, they'd give you all the reasons why it went exactly the way they planned, even though none of those picks worked out. So the tea leaves, the history, the experience tells you they're going to screw this up, or the league and the people of the players available are going to screw it up for them. So, just all around cherry on the top of what was an extremely disappointing, bad season for the Bruins as they slow played their demise from the Patrice Bergeron era. And still unwilling to make the big move that we've been calling for what is it, right? 3 years, 4 years? Yeah. Trade Pasternak, trade McAvoy, trade one of your big guys. Now they did get rid of Marchand, which was a controversial move because they probably sold low on him where they didn't really need to. But regardless,
you need Florida to make a run so you can get a higher draft pick.
That's probably true. But so at least they did that, and that was a hard move. You got to give credit to Sweeney for that. They did move Brad Marchand, so I won't take anything away from that. But now Pasternak, McAvoy, if Swayman, if some schmuck wants to take Swayman off your hands, let's see a big splash here.
What was the big rumor that Billy Hockey sent us that Pasternak to the Canes in this offseason? The Hurricanes could be the guys to go after Pasternak. Yep. And I forgot it was like a draft loaded deal pretty much with some assets getting there, but
you could name me every player and thing that was in that. I wouldn't know who it was, and I would be on board with it if the hockey guy said it's okay. You're not going to get the return that you want for a player like Pasternak, but David Pasternak, in my opinion, is going to put up a shit ton of hollow numbers through a regular season. He's never elevated his team in the playoffs. He's never been the best player on his team to make a deep run. He is an extremely talented offensive player that belongs on a squad that can use that piece. He's not I don't look at David Pasternak as a fundamental building block, especially at $11 million, hamstringing your cap as you need like top six fucking wingers, so you got to move some defense. Lindholm, Lohrei, you got to move some defensemen. I think you got to move one of your big money guys in McAvoy, Swayman, or Pasternak. And again, Vrabel this bitch. Move forward, move on, do it for real. The 5th overall pick was not going to do it for him. It would have been better than the 7th. That's for sure. The 2nd would have been very good. But here you are. You're basically in purgatory in the draft, and that's not going to help you anyway. So just this moving from 5th to 7th with a chance for 2nd, a swift kick in the balls to put a deadly end to the Bruins until we see him in October is what I would say. So here you go, Bobby. Shifting gears real quick. Edelman beats Vinatieri and Logan Mankins in the Hall of Fame vote for Patriots Hall of Fame. As we both, if we were given votes, I guess we could have voted. It was a fan vote, right?
Sure, we could have voted. Yeah, it was a fan vote.
I did vote.
Did you?
Yep.
Loser.
Yeah, that's too bad you lost.
Yep, I did lose.
Here's what I'll say. Now, Bobby and I were on the Edelman side because we're right and intelligent, college-educated folk. Ray couldn't make it in the Navy. But if anybody is even if you're on the if you're on Team Vinatieri, to say that it's not close is ridiculous. So now that it's done, step back, relax, give Edelman his flowers, stop taking away from his moment here. He's one of the best Patriots. He's one of the best, not players, but like quote unquote, not to be too sappy or homer, but like best Patriots of all time. Spent his entire career here.
What the fuck's the Hall of Fame for? I thought a Hall of Fame was for the player, for being a player, for doing stats, for like.
This is the Patriots Hall of Fame. He's one of the best Patriots of all time. Adam Vinatieri had 3 great kicks and spent most of his career in Indianapolis. Julian Edelman has 3 Super Bowls, an MVP in the Super Bowl. Ben DeFore was the #1 target for the greatest quarterback of all time. And oh, by the way, he's not a fucking kicker.
Yep, bingo. There he is. Not a kicker.
Assholes.
Come on.
You guys are assholes.
And I listened to Bertrand in the do it in order in age and that's just dumb.
Fat tard. He's wrong. He's dumb.
That's just stupid.
Thank you, Wayne.
Let's just take your nostalgia and your bullshit and get it out of my face. It's not right on the merits. You're wrong on the merits. You're wrong on the overall career as in a Patriots uniform. Julian Edelman was a better Patriot in a Patriot uniform than Adam Vinatieri. Never mind the nostalgia and never mind the consequence of those massive kicks. What they were huge. I'll grant you that. You put Adam Vinatieri up against basically anybody else next year outside of Gronkowski, and he's getting in.
Is he available?
Up next year.
Oh,
Vinatieri can wait again, you little tard.
Yeah, what are you gonna? So is Gronkowski not?
And then
So Gronkowski's not going to get over
McCourty, so he's not getting in over him either.
Oh, he gets in over McCourty.
He gets in over McCourty. He's a defensive player. Anyway,
it sucks though. All those older players aren't going to get in because of all the players that played with Tom Brady.
Well, he's an older player. He's a goddamn kicker, and kickers do not play football.
Time is never ending.
Vinatieri will get into the NFL Hall of Fame before he gets into the Patriots Hall of Fame.
Good for him. Bobby, any other parting thoughts here on the Edelman inductment?
The right decision was made. Edelman's the better football player. This is a no-brainer. People are not thinking with their heads because he made some kicks, and it's mostly just the older folks that you watch it and they saw it and it was there. And I understand that most of the people, they still see Edelman out. He's got the podcast. He's got all those things. It doesn't overtake the fact that he was a better football player.
Yeah, and arguably a better story, and certainly more important. Like, it's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous.
And Edelman would beat him up if they fought.
I think that's probably right too.
No, swift kick to the nuts, and Edelman's down for the count.
Well, yeah, as long as if he avoided the kicks, yeah. But if
Vinatieri was, I will disagree with you on this, Bobby. Vinatieri was a football player. Like he was not a scrawny little bitch. Like he handled himself. Belichick at one point in time called him the best player on the team. Now, a lot of people give Vinatieri credit for that. I think Belichick was just intentionally digging every other player on the team because
Belichick was saying, "I just won a Super Bowl with the kicker being the best player. It's all about me."
You're 100% right. Yeah, that was a Belichick-centric comment.
Yeah, that was a Belichick being a cunt move.
It did get said. He never said that about Edelman. Although I would argue he 100% likes Edelman better than Adam Vinatieri at this point in time.
Probably like Edelman more than Brady.
because at this point he likes Jordan Hudson better than he likes, life. So
That twat.
okay, there's one more beep. All right, we'll be right back with Simplest Minds of the Week.
Oh, back to school to prove to Dad that I'm not a fool.
But I will say, I don't know if you can tell by looking at me, I do have family members with Down syndrome. It almost got me. I dodged it, but it nicked me. Bit of a day walker myself.
Are you stupid or something? I'm as stupid as stupid does.
And here you go. Now, Ray, do we have everything this week?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. Thank you for that.
One of them I just enjoyed thoroughly. I'm like, I love this guy.
Say that again.
One of them I enjoyed thoroughly.
Okay.
I enjoy this guy a lot.
Cue us in before we get there and tell us why when we get there, okay?
Okay.
We're going to start with a little Amish emu, though.
Amish girls just look like they're having the time of their lives. Just trying.
Anybody
to get
listening, that was a news broadcast of an emu, which is basically like an ostrich-looking bird running down a highway-ish street in Pennsylvania, and a bevy of Amish-looking women trying to
Chase him down.
One guy's trying to throw his jacket.
If they didn't catch that emu, I'm pretty sure that their husbands would hit them.
Yeah. And we can't confirm that. All right, so this next one here is labeled Joyride. What do we got here? A group of drunk men in Poland stole a 36-ton T-55 tank and took it out for a joyride. I think this is an old story, honestly, right? I think this is from like 2019, but nevertheless, fantastic.
It goes back with what we were talking about last week. Like, what would you do if we were drunk? Would you call Shador Sanders? No, we'd just fucking steal a tank.
You give me the opportunity, about 15 of these babies deep, to steal a T-55 and drive it down Main Street for a
fuck yeah.
Who left the keys in the T-55? Who's the asshole?
Oh, there was some guy back on leave. Like,
fuck
you. Wait, you got the keys to that thing? Like on you, dude? Come on, let's go. All right, we go check it out.
Yeah.
Third base. Third base. Third base.
One more drink, Slavy. One more drink. Here's a nice one. This
is the one.
This is the one you like. This guy.
I love this kid.
This is a real wholesome moment. Live life to the fullest.
You could just see it's captured on video. He's just having the time of his life. Like no worries.
This is the weekly PSA from the Simple Mind Sports Show. If you can live your life in the moment, as much in the moment as this guy right here, as Mr. Chicken Strip himself, you got something good going on.
Man, one finger on the chicken strip, man. One finger, bro. That fucking shit ain't going nowhere. One finger on the chicken strip. You can't lose that shit, dude. That's sticky as fuck. That's all it takes out is one finger on it. Look at that shit. Damn. McCrispy, bro. McSticky, dog. Shit.
So either he's very high or he's just loving life.
No, I think he loves life.
I
mean, maybe both, but
he probably went there. He went and got those chicken fingers, and he's like, "Man, look at this. This is just beautiful. Look how sticky these are."
Bottom of the barrel chicken fingers as well, too. Like whatever the lowest brow establishment you could get, that's what that chicken finger is.
Burger King.
Bobby, always with the judgment. This guy's he's got sticky hands, man. Like he's happy, just loving it.
That shit, bro.
One finger, bro.
He had the same finger movement that I generally use in Ray's mother's ass.
Yep, that looks similar. I thought I had one more, but maybe I missed it.
You missed it. Life's perfect balance from Handsome Wayne. That is life's perfect balance. That guy had if he has kids, he just left and just went and just had a nice little joyride, got some chicken nuggets.
Damn it! I had a good one. It was a story. I'm sorry. It was a story about a woman with road rage. Let me see if I can.
Oh, I got you. I do that one.
Can you pull that up real quick? This is a good one because it really fits the bill. Here we go. Say what? Woman who pooped on another person's car during road rage incident tells police it was a clean poop. Which I think instantly should get you out of whatever trouble she was in.
Did you see it?
No, there was a picture of it.
There's a video of it, but like you have to like dissect the pit, like you have to freeze it at the right time to see it. It's like it's dirty dye. Like it's a.
So it was
like,
not clean. So she lied.
He lied to the police.
Oh, okay. Well,
She's going to jail.
Jail for life. You can't like
You
if
would
you
be, look at how smile. Look at that devilish look on her face. Like
to be fair, and this is not to sound.
She looks gross.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, Bobby,
It looks like the type of woman that would be imprisoned.
Yeah, I was gonna go there. I was gonna say she does not look like the type of person to dump out a clean poop on someone's car.
No.
Or her definition of clean poop is way different than a lot of others. If what Ray's describing is her clean poop, then I don't want to see.
She's probably done a lot of butt stuff.
Yeah,
I think Bobby, you were very judgy tonight.
Very judgy, very judgy. And I would say like
Wayne says she probably didn't have to.
Spot on with these things.
She didn't have to wipe. Wayne, I disagree. After seeing her poop, she definitely had to wipe.
Judging by her demeanor, she might just not be the type that wipes. She might just be
She's a hero until she shits on your car, Patrick. Then see what happens. She ain't gonna be all hero no more.
Yeah, we got some derelicts in the comment section here tonight. Speaking of derelicts, we're done here. This has been the Simple Mind Sports Show, Friday Rewind, May 9th, live. May 8th. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day, everybody. All the mothers.
Tell your mothers I'll see them
your
Sunday.
Mothers.
Specifically Ray's mom. Happy Mother's Day.
No, see your mother Monday.
All right. Your mother. Okay, your mother.
Bye-bye.